Cesar Ruiz was paid by us. 4 years, $44 million and some change, making him the 6th highest paid right guard in the NFL. 6th highest paid in terms of average annual value. And believe it or not, this is actually the market, his market for a tackle. Here is why. One, if you're a Saints fan, you know Cesar Ruiz has not done too terribly great. But we also know the Saints, they don't bring in their elite offensive linemen in free agency with it, outside of like Max Unger. It happened with Larry Warford, but he kind of flopped and we moved on from him to then draft Andrus Peat, of course. We draft Andrus Peat. We pay him. Obviously, he's had some injury history. We're still trying to work him out. Trevor Penning should have been pulled from the game. Hope we don't pay him. Looks like we're just trying to work him out. Eric McCoy became the 6th highest paid center last year, so we're kind of falling in line and paying him accordingly. But if you really want to know why the New Orleans Saints paid Cesar Ruiz this money, one, it shows that we're desperate for consistent offensive line play. And he showed us 1 year of that. He hasn't had a Pro Football Focus rating over 60 since he's been in the league. He's currently sitting at a 32.4 Pro Football Focus rating because Cesar Ruiz got paid, and now he's just letting guys through to Derek Carr. And that's what I don't like. I don't like to see that. But the Saints paid him this money because in 2021, he was the only offensive lineman out of all 5 starters. He was the only one that did not miss games. He played every snap of 2021. And that's what the Saints want. The Saints want consistency. The Saints want that foundation built for Derek Carr to actually be able to succeed. Because Derek Carr, even though the Saints only scored 16 points on Sunday, we'll get into some numbers here in a little bit and just kind of a perspective of how this team's going to be able to move forward with Derek Carr under center. It's got to start in the trenches. It has to start with the offensive line. It has to. Derek Carr was already not doing too well because of a defense that was letting him down. We had the defense to support him. Let's not let the offensive line possibly hold us back as well. But he's consistently available. That's what the New Orleans Saints see with Cesar Ruiz. He's only had 1 solid year, really, but he's versatile. He only had 3 penalties last year, 2 of which he was misaligned on the line. He was lined up at one wrong spot instead of the other, so really only 1 slip on his end. Gave up 3 sacks. He did give up 14 pressures and 14 starts. So basically what the Saints saw last year, every time we started him, he's going to have 1 slip up. He's going to give up 1 pressure. He's going to give up a sack every 3 to 4 games. That's why the Saints paid him, because the Saints pay guys like Ryan Ramczyk when they do well. They pay guys like Andrus Peat when they do well. They pay guys like Max Unger big money at the center position because of, like, when Max Unger came in, I feel like our O-line really elevated to that best in the league because Max Unger was that veteran. He had won the Super Bowl with Russell Wilson. We had, Ramczyk. Pete was still healthy. So when I saw this come through, and fucking Cesar Ruiz is just a turnstop Sunday against the Titans because he's gotten paid. Not really, but I hate how that can happen. A guy gets paid, again, all the quarterbacks in the NFL. Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Not the greatest performances from all of them. 2 of them won games. 2 of them won games, and 2 of them didn't. But, we paid him. It is what it is. It's the best the Saints could do. It's what the Saints are going to do. The deal is inked. 4 years, $44 million. I'm not a fan of it, but he's doing enough for New Orleans, considering our O-line has kind of taken that turn over the last 2 or 3 seasons to where it's not really what it was. And we want to see more of that foundation to where Breeze was able to hit it off the back foot every time, and the timing of the offense, the screen passes, the nice just over the middle of the field that Peyton and Carmichael could open up. It was because of that foundation and that offensive line.